Oh yes, what a $67 mistake looks like. It comes in the form of a part, and it is a BC3Z3F818A sensor. Now this sensor is rather important because without it, weird things happen. So in part one of my clock spring replacement, yes, I diagnosed everything as far as what was wrong, but I made a big mistake. So now we're going to go back and we're going to fix the mistake because this is very important, and I will show you why in just a second. There we go. There we go. So, service of track. Okay. Collision warning malfunction. Okay. Yes, all that's going on. And then you get these lights right here. And on top of it, sorry about that. Couldn't get the radio off. But anyway, when you turn the wheel, nothing happens. The turn signal don't turn off because that sensor is what turns the turn signal off. So those are the symptoms of a bad steering angle or steering position sensor. And without the steering position sensor, when you want to go ahead and you want to turn the old cruise control on, that's right, and then you go to set the cruise control, yeah, I can't do it parked, but when you go to set the cruise control, it tells you cruise control is not available. So no cruise control. You got your traction control, you got your stability control, your turn signals, everything doesn't work. And that's because when I replaced the clock spring, I separated the one and I tore it apart, not realizing my mistake. So I had to buy a new one because I destroyed a perfectly working one. So let's go ahead, pull this airbag back off after I let it set for a while with the battery disconnected, and then go ahead, pull the clock spring off, and then I'll show you how to attach a new steering angle position sensor onto the clock spring, and then hopefully we get some magic and all these lights go out. Yep, I want to disconnect this. I already got loosened up, so because I knew I was going to do this, so I just released the nut on there. If I can actually get that off of there, get that stuck down in there so I don't have that, then I just pull this off and get it out of the way so it don't touch. There we go. Got that set off of there. I'm going to let it set for a good hour, and then we'll go ahead and I'll be right back after the hour and we'll start working on this thing. Now this white tab here comes out, and then right here and right here you will position this so that there's two little protrusions on the clock spring that you snap right into place. So you have to have this position. I believe it has to be up like this, and then you just snap it right into the back of this like so. You got to take this off, snap it in, and then it'll be positioned carefully, and you shouldn't have any problem. You don't want to spin it around or anything. You want it to leave it just where it's at. Snap that into it, and then just put it all back together and plug it all back in. Because when you snap this thing in, then there's really not a connection point that you're going to see on this as far as what it does. Right there is your electrical connection that's going to slide into. So when you put it in, there's a little tabs that'll snap right into that, built into the steering column. So that's how it's going to work, folks. When you put it all back in, it plugs right into there. You get all your feedback for the steering angle position sensor, and you got your little card right there as far as your circuit board. And that's how it works. So we're going to go ahead and do that once it sets, and then we'll get this thing installed. And this will be something that you won't find on the internet because I've looked. So this will probably be the first video on all this as far as how to do this. Thought I'd cover a tool that really works. This T-handle hex key set is just the way you need it, because you could slide that into the holes there to release that airbag, and find the right size one. I tried the Torx type to get it in there, and with the rounded ends on there it just made it difficult, but with the flat ends of the actual hex key set, it'll make it better. And yeah, this is the Icon version of the Snappy set, so lifetime guarantee on that one, no less. Not a sponsor, but I didn't have a set and I liked them, and I decided to go buy a set. Now what I used was a 4mm hex here, and went into the hole, and you just find that spring. Now I've already done it. It took me like 3 minutes to get it off, but car's been off, battery disconnected for about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these clips that we have here. Just pinch them in and then you pull them out. Just pinch them in on the side for the airbag, and then you just snap them out. They can be a little bit on the difficult side sometimes, especially if you don't have big fingernails. But there we go. Then the gray goes in the gray, black goes into black. So what you do is you set this down this way. That way you set it down this way. That way if it does go off, you don't have something popping at you. But we have to take this nut off right here now. And this nut is a T45 Torx. And we just take and remove that. And it's not a nut, it's a bolt. Hold it with your, there you go, hold it with your leg, and then you just remove it, just like I did in the clock spring video. It's a bolt. Older edges will have a nut. Ford updated it to just a bolt that pressures it into a actual fitting, and then you just take this nut off or bolt off, and then you're all set there. Now you want to take and remove this connector right here, because that's going to have to feed out through there, and then you just pull this off nice and gently, and then that's the steering wheel that you want to remove. Now we're going to get to the tricky part. We got to keep this clock spring right here, so you got to be really careful what you're doing. This clock spring has to remain with this connector up top, because yeah, you're not going to have a good day. But then we have to go and we have to pry this part right here out and disconnect it. And just twist it off to the side. You get it busted loose there a little bit, and then you go on this side, do the same thing. And then this will pop up, and this, once you get this released, this will then come down. So now you have full access to everything, and now we have our little Torx screws we have to undo. Again, you have to keep this clock spring perfectly centered up there, because if you mess it up, then you're doing the whole thing. These have to be on here, so make sure these are here. And then you'll be good. So we have to undo these 3 little Torx, and I'm not sure which size they are. Let's see. That ain't the right size. We got to find the right size. So they're just little tiny guys. I'm hoping I have the right one, because they're just little bitty ones. There we go. And what size is that? That is a T10 that you're going to want to be using. Again, we're going to release this. Pretty simple. Take it out, and I'm going to put it down here where I know I can find it. And then we're going to undo this one. Get get it out, and then we'll remove this one. Doesn't take much, they're not in tight, just don't lose them. And once we're done with that, then we have to disconnect this clock spring, and this is going to be the hard part, folks, because we have to pull this out of here. There we go. We got that disconnected, and now we pull this whole thing out. Disconnect it. Now we got to make sure it's all stays up here like so. And then I'm nervous about this. See these two tabs right here? Right here they got these two tabs, okay? These little things right here. We then have to insert this into here like so. It fits right into here, and it matches up with all the connectors on here that we have to have as far as what we're doing, because it goes up like so. And then I can see how we go with this thing. See, it doesn't fit but one way. As you can see, it doesn't fit but one way. And then it fits, if you look at the tabs, right here, they line up exactly where they need to be. So you want to make sure that you do have those, of course, adjusted appropriately when you go to insert them. Because they won't fit this way, because they won't make contact on there, so they have to go in this way. And I'm just trying to make sure I get it the right way that I have to have it as far as fitting in there. See if I, oh, there we go. That's how this fits in here, folks, just like this. Okay, it took me a minute. There's two guides right here, one guide here and one guide here, and then when you slide it in, keep in mind, it's the first time I'm doing this, but when you slide it in, it fits in there perfect. And then these two tabs go right in here where this is at. So when you release this and pull this out, you have to keep this orientated this way and then slide this right directly onto it, you know, as far as how it's supposed to be, and not move it too much. So now that we got this installed in here, we can go ahead and we can pull this out. Again, you got to keep that nice and stable, and you don't want to lose this little keeper here. Keep that off of there, and then you take this and you got to slide it on. Make sure it sits in there properly and seats in. And there we go. It is now mounted to the clock spring. I want to take it and secure that up just a little bit so it don't move. Now we have it mounted in, and it's seated in properly. It feels sturdy, feels like it's supposed to be there. So then we take our screws that we had and we start putting them back in carefully so that we don't lose them. And we put that back in there. Put this one in here, because we got everything straight now. and then this last one back in. Now, one thing I looked on the internet, I didn't find anybody doing this, so hopefully this helps you all out as far as putting this all back together. So what we got to do now is we have to take and put this back on here. We've got it seated in. Everything's where we need it to be. We then feed our wires back through for the airbag. And now we got to make sure we have our steering wheel straight. And make sure that it fits in there properly. Then we plug this one back in to the clock spring, and then we put the bolt back on to the steering wheel, and we'll cinch that back down. It's pretty simple. Getting everything in there. And this cinches the entire thing down. Again, use your leg. I'm going to drop it back down now. Okay, then you lock it in, and then use your leg to hold it, and make sure it's tight. There you go. Good and tight. So my steering wheel, everything's still where I need it to be. So let's go ahead and pop the airbag back in. Get these clips back into it. Oh, darn it. I forgot one thing, didn't I? Holy cow. Oh! Got ahead of myself. Got ahead of myself. Holy cow, I can't believe I did that. You guys figure out what I missed? Oh. Yes, figure out what I missed. Y'all probably screaming at me while I was doing this. Bill, Bill! Did y'all figure out what I missed? Oh, glad I remembered that. That'd been embarrassing. It's already embarrassing. Anyway, now I can put the steering wheel back on. Get that nut in there, get this clip back in. Now we're set. Holy cow, I can't believe I did that. I don't know why you guys weren't paying attention. Holy cow. There we go. That would have been a heck of a deal. But we can go ahead and put it back in. We're all good yet. This is one thing about making videos when you're doing it for the first time. That's really a unique thing. You know, when you start doing repairs and it's the first time you've done it. There we go. Now everything's plugged in, and now we can plug the battery back in, or the airbag back in. Got it matched up here. Should just snap in like it always does. And then snap that back in. And one thing about the airbag, it's really simple. You can just snap that in there. Gotta get these pieces put in here, back together again and snapped in. Snap this one back in. There we go. Got that back in. And then I got some screws that I have to put back up underneath here. They're 10 millimeter. I ain't gonna bore you all with that. But I got it all snapped in so we can at least do our testing. And we're gonna snap this airbag in. There you go. Airbag is snapped in. It's all ready to go. The battery's disconnected. So let me go ahead and get the car started. And we'll see if I have lights yet. And if my blinkers work and everything else. Moment of truth.
Much for sharing your perspective.
No lights. All gone. All gone. I hope. There we go. Turn signal turned off.
So we didn't have enough money when we had started having kids, like a lot of people out there.
Turn signals are turning off. Now let's go test the cruise control and see if it works. But right now, everything's gone. So the best bet is to check the cruise control. So let's check that out and make sure it activates. And yes, the cruise control is fully functional. So this is a good repair, folks. No lights. That's it. Well, folks, another job done. And looks like I got everything fixed the right way. So yeah, time to put some more miles on old Blueberry, this 2011 Ford Edge. Front wheel drive limited with 165,631 miles on it. Still going strong, original water pump, all that good stuff. But remember, like, subscribe, join my YouTube channel, and also go to MeWe. If you want to get a hold of me, MeWe's the place to get a hold of me. And then, of course, hey, Band of One's got some great music after this, and Mercy Girl always has something to say. And my feet hit the floor today. I'm having a great day, and I want you to have a great day too.
Thank you for watching MACT's videos, and remember to like and subscribe. This is a Mercy Girl production.